Welcome back everyone, and thanks for joining me for yet another episode of my Borussia M'Gladbach career on FIFA 15. Now in the last episode, and spoiler alert for you guys that didn't see it, if you didn't, be sure to go back and check it out. I'll link it on the video somewhere, or I'll leave the link in the description below. But in the last episode, we finally beat Bayern Munich in this career mode. It's took me up to the third season to actually get there. It was in the Deutsche Pokal, unfortunately it wasn't in the Bundesliga. We probably could have done with the points more than getting through to the next round of that domestic cup competition. But a win over Bayern Munich is something that I wanted to try and accomplish, at least in this career mode. So we finally got that in a good, dominant 3-1 win over Munich. It doesn't get any better than that, and the goals were pretty decent, especially the last one by Max Kruse, which came in the 120th minute. That's right, had to go into extra time. Thankfully the game didn't go into penalties, otherwise I think we may have been knocked out at that stage. So things are starting to pick up for Mönchengladbach. We seem to be getting back on track after we went through that stage of drawing and losing games. I mean, previously we drew against Wolfsburg in a game that I felt as though we should have won, but they left it late. They got that equaliser and it was deserved. I mean, they kept plugging away Wolfsburg and they eventually got what they wanted. So we obviously had to move on and focus on that next game against Bayern Munich. But this game here, you can see we're playing at home against Mainz. We did go 1-0 up early on in the first half with that simple tap-in from Patrick Hamann. We did make it 2-0 pretty much as soon as we kicked off for the second half. The goal coming from Thiago, who has failed to make an impact in the last two games against his former side, Bayern Munich. He didn't really play that well in the Deutsche Pokal fixture, but he was there. He was an integral part to the side, and he got on the score sheet again for Mönchengladbach in the Bundesliga in this game against Mainz with a brilliant looping header over the keeper, route to the spot, and it was a good lead to have over this team. And Stocker, you can see, went down in the penalty area after having the ball stole off him. Was it a penalty? I mean, Bunja, he had his legs wrapped around Stocker. He did get to the ball, and then Stocker went to the ground. I'm not sure whether a penalty should have been awarded there, but obviously it was. The referee had given it to us. So an opportunity to make it 3-0, to triple our lead against Mainz. They were certainly outside. Now, was that a penalty? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think it was just about a penalty because the challenge came from behind and kind of on the side of Stocker. So anyway, Max Kruse, who scored a penalty against Bayern Munich midweek in that Deutsche Pokal fixture, stepped up, feeling confident that he would make it 3 here, and he did. I thought the keeper for a split second when I was playing this game actually saved that and got a hand to it, but no, Max Kruse stepped up, full confidence, and convert the pen into a goal. And it's good because he's now getting back into that scoring routine which he found at the start of the season. He did go through a bit of a drought when we were drawing and losing those games. So Mönchengladbach getting back on track. We're putting in dominant performances, we're putting points on the board, and that is what I like to see. Jan Sommer did pick up a training injury. He would be out for 3 days with a dead leg quad, which would mean he would miss the opportunity to start on the bench or start the game midweek in that crucial Champions League group stage fixture away from home against Ajax. And you guys will be able to see that a bit later on. Well, it's coming up next in this episode. But first, and pretty sharpish, I'm going to show you guys the squad report for the end of month. Well, it's almost the end of the month. As you just saw, Junuzovic, he's going to be back to full fitness after being out for 2 months with that broken toe in the matter of 2 weeks. So not too far now from returning to the first team. It's such an integral part of this team as well, like Thiago, who's done a great job stepping up and replacing him, as well as Aslan. I mean, Aslan's been brilliant, fitting into that central mid role where Junuzovic would play if he was fit, and he's even scored some late winners, which has been so crucial to our season. It goes to show how good our squad depth is at the moment, and that's what I've wanted for this career mode. When I first arrived at Mönchengladbach, the squad depth wasn't the best, but I've built on that over the course of these 3 seasons, and now if Hazard gets injured, I can replace him with Aslan or Junuzovic when he's fit, or De Jong or Thiago. It's good to have in the team. And now De Hood seems to be breaking out in the side. It's very exciting times for Mönchengladbach. I mean, he came off the bench in that fixture against Bayern Munich where we beat them 3-1, and he was superb, almost putting the likes of Roda and Schweinsteiger and Lahm to shame. He was fantastic, and based on that, I chose him to start this game against Ajax in the Champions League. I know it's a crucial game. If we won this, we would certainly be going through to the knockout stages, and I decided to give De Jong a bit of a break as well. He was looking a bit unfit for this game, so he could go home, put up his feet and watch the game on TV. We did have a couple of good opportunities. That one there from Kruse, not sure what happened there. I mean, I looked to hit the ball with power on his right foot, and it dribbled across the ground almost. I also had that sweaty opportunity a bit earlier on in the game, and Hazard really should have been doing better. But we did make it 1-0 though in the 35th minute. It did come from Max Kruse. It was bound to happen because he's starting to get himself back into form, and he took that perfectly. I mean, he just stepped back to invite the ball onto his left foot, and he just hammered that past Silerson. So it was looking like we had that advantage going into half-time, but I gave the ball away too cheaply there to Zivkovic from Rajkovic. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I was looking to just pass it around at the back and hold on to that lead heading into the break. But Zivkovic, he could have easily have made that 1-1. But Krul, nah, you're not going to beat Krul from that distance. I know Zivkovic, he was put under pressure there by my two centre-halves. It was an absolute scramble to get to it. He did manage to fire off an effective shot. It did get Krul working, but it was never going to really go in. Heading into the second half, we did seem shaky at the back. Well, you know, we seemed shaky at the back for the whole 90 minutes, to be fair. I gave the ball away too cheaply again. Rajkovic and Thiago seemed as though they were fighting for possession, but they weren't concentrating on Durati and what he was doing and his positioning, and it was just a simple tap-in. So Ajax got that fully deserved equaliser that they were chasing, and they almost made it 2-1 with just moments to go of the game before the ref blew the whistle for the final time. Zivkovic with such a hit on the ball. I was surprised it didn't find the back of the net, really. He had Krul beat. It was perfectly weighted. How it didn't find the back of the net, I don't know. And we hit Ajax on the counter from that opportunity so quickly. And I really thought Berahino, who we haven't really heard of much this season, I know because I've been choosing Max Kruse instead of him in the first team, because obviously Kruse had a better start to the season and Berahino has been a bit slow in finding that groove of his that he had last season. I mean, he was our top goal scorer last season, and he hasn't even scored a goal this season. Just finding it difficult for some reason to get him scoring again. Brilliant news after that fixture against Ajax is that Junuzovic is now back from his injury, from his broken toe, and he's going to have to wait a couple of more weeks until he's back to full fitness. Don't want to rush him into things, don't want him to aggravate his injury any further and see him out for longer. So he would miss out on our next game in the Bundesliga away from home against Frankfurt, a team that were in fourth, just above us by a point. So again, so many crucial games have been bunched together. We got the Champions League, the Dutch Pokal, and also the Bundesliga. So much going on heading into the winter break. After 25 minutes, Krul was finally made to work by Frankfurt. You can see the save, fully stretched. Raphael trying to get rid of the danger as quick as possible. But again, they had another opportunity there from Hazard, and it just went wide. But again, making Krul work, making him sweat, thinking is that this isn't going to last much longer before they do eventually grab that goal. But at the other end, we did make it 1-0, and I thought this goal, even though it was just a simple tap-in from watching the replay, I thought it was fantastically executed by Max Kruse. I mean, Patrick Amann did well to bring the ball towards that 6-yard box, but if you watch Max Kruse now, you can see him battling his way through those two central defenders, and he can see where Patrick Amann is aiming the ball, and he pulls himself back, positions himself perfectly, and for some reason goes down and uses his foot to slide the ball into the back of the net. I just thought it was nicely done there from Kruse, and again, getting another goal for Mönchengladbach. He's just unstoppable at the moment, it seems. He's high on confidence, his form is just sensational, and I think that's what he's going off. I mean, look at this run from Max Kruse. They failed to shut him down when trying to work through their back four, and we made it 2-0 before half-time. Frankfurt had their work cut out. Heading into the second half, they would be chasing the game big time, and we had to be prepared for that. The game was far from over. Anything can happen in 45 minutes. And you can see how they set themselves out come the second half. Just minutes into the second half, they were going for it. They were all out attacking, and Doy linking up with Stendera perfectly. And how it wasn't 2-1, how they didn't get themselves back in the game there, I don't know. Stendera did well to go round Krul, but just shut down, pinched there by my two centre-backs. But Krul was, he was on form in this game. I mean, that save there with just 10 minutes to go of the game. He was determined to hold on to that clean sheet. Look at this for a set. Max Cruiser over the top. Nice little dink to Thiago. How Thiago didn't make that 3-0. I don't know. I mean, look on the replay. I suppose he couldn't really wrap his foot around the ball there as he just toe-pecked that past the post. Couldn't get swerve on it or anything like that. Very disappointing for Thiago, as he could have had 2 goals in 2 consecutive Bundesliga fixtures. Just would have been nice to round off this dominant performance again in the Bundesliga. We do go climbing up the table. We did leapfrog Frankfurt. You can see that we are up to 3rd, just a point behind Hertha Berlin. So not looking too bad. I was worrying a bit earlier in the season when we were dropping points and when we were losing games. But everything is going to be okay, folks. Trust in Peyton. That should be a hashtag. Anyway, I know some of you guys have been saying in the comments, oh, you should take up an international management role in this career mode. And I know I've been a bit hesitant over the last 2 seasons of doing such a thing, but this offer came up on the table to manage Spain. I don't know, I'm just a little unsure at the moment. I'll leave it to you guys. Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, guys.